Tension today, Philippines-China weapons incident almost ended conflict in the South China Sea. The Philippines has finally opened its voice regarding the events that almost led to conflict in the South China Sea. They denied that troops assigned to the waters pointed weapons at the Chinese Coast Guard. The atmosphere in the South China Sea heated up just days after the Shangri-La Defense Dialogue ended. The rebuttal was delivered by Commander of the Armed Forces of the Philippines Romeo Brawner in Manila, Tuesday, 4/6/2024. We do not deny that Philippine military personnel do hold firearms. However, no one pointed a rifle at the Chinese personnel, he said. Brawner's statement is related to the social media post of the national Chinese television station, CCTV, on Sunday, 2/6/2024. It was stated that the Philippines sent supplies to the crew of the Sierra Madre ship by dropping them from an airplane. This ship was deliberately run aground near Baiting the Yungan, or known as Baiting Second Thomas, located in the Spratly Islands, a disputed area between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea. The Sierra Madre has been grounded by the Philippines since 1999. The ship serves as a landmark to show the Philippines' sovereignty over the area. Meanwhile, China claims ownership of 80% of the South China Sea, despite continued resistance from the Philippines and Vietnam. Brawner explained the incident during a press conference. The incident took place on May 19, 2024. At that time, we were delivering supplies to Sierra Madre through the air, and suddenly two rubber boats belonging to the Chinese Coast Guard approached. They were only 5 and 10 meters away from Sierra Madre, he said. He even stated that Chinese Coast Guard personnel acted aggressively without provocation. They seized a number of supplies being delivered to Sierra Madre. This was the first time the Chinese Coast Guard had seized supplies since Sierra Madre's presence in the Spratly Islands. This is an illegal act. Even in open warfare, there are rules prohibiting the seizure, confiscation, or cessation of the enemy's food supply, said Brawner. Usually, Sierra Madre is supplied through sea routes. The Philippine Navy often uses militia or fishing vessels assigned to deliver supplies for their missions. These boats are repeatedly chased by Chinese Coast Guard ships, even to the point of almost getting collided with. Brawner stated that, in order to prevent the risk of conflict at sea with China, the Philippine Armed Forces finally decided to deliver supplies by plane. Chinese Coast Guard personnel had opened the supply packages and, upon seeing that they contained food, immediately threw them into the sea. It seems that the Chinese Coast Guard suspects that the contents of the supply package are construction materials. Although the majority of the supplies can be saved, some have sunk in the sea. It's a shame, said Brawner to ABS-CBN Media. Regarding the reason why the crew of Sierra Madre holds firearms, Brawner explained that they feel threatened. It is a standard procedure for military personnel to carry weapons in situations deemed threatening, as they have the right to defend themselves. Filipino Navy spokesperson, First Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, added that it is impossible for equipment and construction materials to be delivered by air and dropped into the sea. According to him, the Chinese Coast Guard did not use common sense. In Beijing, a spokesperson for the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mao Ning, blamed the Philippines. Those who continue to provoke and escalate the situation in Rena, China's term for Amjian Shoal. This is unacceptable, he said. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., when speaking at the Shangri-La Defense Dialogue in Singapore, Friday, 31/5/2024, emphasized that the Philippines is a country and a member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, wants the South China Sea to be pure for regional prosperity and stability. The Philippines adheres to the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, which defines the maritime borders of every country in the world. Based on international law, the boundaries of the waters of countries that have contact in the South China Sea are already clear. This was also confirmed by the Philippines' victory in the International Court of Justice, ICJ, in 2016, which stated that the claim of one country's domination over the South China Sea is unfounded and unacceptable. Klaus Radidio, an expert on China studies at the Dryarkura College of Philosophy, believes that ASEAN must invite all dialogue partners to return to ASEAN centrality. This is proven by the commitment to implement the ASEAN Indo-Pacific View, or AOIP. The South China Sea is an international trade route with a value of $5 trillion per year. Apart from commercial ships, the South China Sea is also traversed by military ships from other countries, including the United States. According to Klaus, this is what makes China uncomfortable, so it wants to control these waters. Territorial disputes with other countries actually stem from this main reason.